Welcome everybody. My name's Chris, and
My name's Keith.
Keith, how are you today?
Doing fine, how are you?
I'm doing well. Are you ready to watch a movie?
Yeah, I'm ready to watch a movie.
You ready to watch a movie? Cool.
Yeah.
I have brought this particular movie, 1972, Ralph Bakshi's Fritz the Cat. Have you heard of this movie, Keith?
Yes, I have actually. I've seen a couple commentaries, reviews on it. Said to be very much the first major American adult cartoon, and very before its time and more relevant nowadays more than ever.
I would actually have to agree with you. I actually haven't really seen the whole movie. I've seen commentaries. I've seen some clips from it, and I'm very intrigued about this. Ralph Bakshi, I have seen a couple of his other films. I have seen Wizards, and I knew he has done Heavy Traffic, and he's done a few other things like Hey Good Looking, and he was actually ahead of his time. You know, Ralph Bakshi was got his start actually in correct me if I'm wrong, Tenny Toons. Not Tiny Toons, Tenny Toons. Tenny Toons. Have you heard of Mighty Mouse?
Yes.
Tenny Toons, a animation studio out of Rochester, New York. You know Mighty Mouse?
I remember Mighty Mouse. I used to watch the old reruns on Nickelodeon back in the day.
Right. So, anyways, yeah, it's actually a very adult film. It deals with a lot of very adult themes that, you know, today we're actually still dealing with, and themes that we, maybe a little bit more alien to now, I guess. But I guess I don't really know because we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of, the foray that we're going to go into tonight. And I guess, you and me are going to be explorers inside of, the jungle that is the madness of Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah.
And Fritz the Cat. So I guess let's watch a movie.
Sounds good.
All right.
Kind of a slow start.
I don't know. They're doing a backdrop.
What we're trying to find is why these days
Crude. Right?
It was very realistic.
Oh my god. Well, no, see, the thing about this, we'll discuss it at the end of it, but, one of the things he did was he actually, took a tape recorder around New York City and he, just recorded these things. These are real people.
Yeah. Explains why it's realistic.
Yeah. What is fucking things you hear your fucking dad talk about it too, It's like...
Yeah. Thanksgiving dinner table.
Yeah. I already love the music.
Yeah. When was this made?
1972.
1972. Well, before both of us.
Right. I already showed my dad some of these things, and my dad's from New York, and he was like, yeah, this kind of hits a little too close to home for me.
Just like that woman who threw a chair off a balcony.
Right.
So I guess that doesn't hurt quite so much.
I feel that this particular monologue is going to be a theme throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Hey, ladle it on, buddy.
You must save me. By so doing, you too will be saved. Well, I'd like to, but
That sounds very religious. Wow.
Well then.
Very forward, isn't he?
Again, this is from the 70s, dude. Free love and shit like that. That's what the fucking pig was talking about on the girder.
Yeah, yeah.
In that room, that's John. I mean, you're really strung out, man. We'll take it. This way, group. Come along now, step lively.
Oh my god.
Step lively.
This is all very clear now. Oh, yeah. Okay, West. Here come the truth.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I don't doubt something like that could happen. It seems a little unlikely.
I don't know, man.
Maybe if they were a bit drunk or high or something.
Tell me what? I never won any before. Tell me what.
Well, I mean, The whole point is he's exaggerating it. It's a cartoon.
True. On the nose with the pigs.
Of course.
Hey, look at this big fucking gun.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I killed a John.
Nice and quiet.
Why did they make his eyes red in the other? Because he's abusive.
I guess a little bit more angry, a little more authoritative, I guess.
Yeah. So you can see the kind of not going beyond race when they got that fixation. The two cops are pigs. He's not one of the Jewish cop isn't one of the dogs.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess it's really a representation of, the occupation of the individual, or like, a representation of like a group of people rather than specifically just race.
Yeah. They identify more with the job. So they're identified as more of the job.
Right.
No of existence, cosmic life force or something. You think they were the friggin' fugitives?
I didn't think you really thought about the whole mystic side at all.
And,
Golly shit.
Oh, so now we're getting the fucking purpose of this character.
Big fucking intellectual and sit around trying to out-intellectual all the other big fucking... My farting around days are over, baby. From this day on, I shall live every day as if it was my last. Yeah, I must do it.
People say that.
No more that real
Yeah.
Very rarely they ever do.
dismal.
Think about living like this, your days are last, just living like you have no future.
Yeah. Well, he's breathing fire, man. I drank enough one time to do that.
Hot wings.
We better call the fire department.
I think it's representative, actually.
Yeah. This is kind of scene you'd see like an end credits or something.
Yeah.
But I guess this is intermission.
No, I think it's like a world building, actually.
Scene change.
Yeah.
Maybe chapter change.
Chapter change, kind of like mood change, stuff like that. But it's definitely world building, It's like it's definitely bringing you into this fictional representation of like what I'm going to assume is New York.
And the culture of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the music and the dancing.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a transition.
Definitely. Well, you love these live mic moments.
Love them. Oh my god, the animation on this. The facial expressions are amazing.
Yeah. I wonder how much is this is based on real life and how much is exaggeration.
I'm pretty sure all of it is exaggeration. I'm pretty much all of it is not based on real life.
Well, I mean, you got the contrast with the real voice lines,
Yeah.
Was he really doing something like that?
Well, these are real people talking.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the actions and the animation and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, he's exaggerating the facial expressions for comedic effect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What's happening? As a cat, I have a considerable guilt complex because my kind have always brought suffering on your kind.
Yeah.
At least he's honest.
He's bullshitting.
Perhaps.
Man, that guy sucks at pool.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Here he is trying to keep his cool, right?
Yeah.
This boy. Hey, boy, can I have a drink?
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. I told you he's bullshit. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
No, he doesn't. But I'm saying he was honest from his point of view.
No, he was just bullshit. He was just saying shit to make him look cool.
Do you think he has a legitimate, honest?
I think I don't know if he's like. I'm not saying like he's not honest or nothing like that. I'm just saying it's like he's just trying to impress him. He's just like he uses bullshit to make himself seem legit.
Yeah.
No.
Best thing to do: you steal a car, drive really, really stupid fast, and get everyone's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to show off.
Told you, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know how to drive. I drive like a crow, man, really.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And I see the light.
Holy shit. Ah, it's full of drugs.
Okay, how does he survive that one?
By that.
Yeah. Kind of looks like a painting.
Oh, some more stuff.
It's like they took a painting, really detailed, and then just are scanning over it.
After a character.
Oh shit.
Or stereotype, then, yeah.
Where is she hiding those things?
Don't ask. Don't ask no questions. She ain't gonna tell you no lies.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can you imagine being high and watching this bit?
Imagine that was the idea.
There he is. He's the one who keeps the bosses in power. He's the one who's holding you down.
Guess you got him angry enough.
Yeah.
That escalated quickly.
I mean, it kind of happens like that.
Yeah, it does. Oh, stray bullet. Kind of ending how it began, right? Visually speaking.
Yeah.
Starts out all that chaos and runs like a flipping coward.
Yep. I don't think he really knew what he was doing.
Clearly!
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point. How many people did he just get killed? Is that Mickey Mouse?
I mean, some sort of mouse.
Nick, you and your illusions of grandeur. I'm not getting in that filthy, grimy garbage can with you.
Okay, go fuck yourself.
Such a child.
A neo-Nazi rabbit.
Start thinking about fixing this car, Fritz, or we'll be
Is it at
staying
gas?
forever.
They don't have a
Yeah,
stable
the
job,
car
so that would be
won't
my
go.
first guess.
Hashtag get the gas can, Fritz.
I think the piston rod's stuck in the drive shaft. Either that or
Good God.
Hey, buddy, ain't you got any sense at all? You just gonna let your car run out of gas.
Ah! Called it!
And of course, that's symbolic.
Yep. Because that's where they were first hanging out with. Back when in that bathroom.
No, it's just his life's going down the shitter.
True that. That's one strung out rabbit. Things just keep getting worse for him the more he tries to buck the trends, right?
Yeah.
You're full of shit. All you care about is a reason to hurt, to destroy, to blow up.
That's not the thing to be saying right now.
None of you sons of bitches.
And yet he's still doing it.
Yeah,
I ain't planned this bomb for you schmucks.
you just did. He's gonna pull the wick? Nope.
And
That's a real explosion.
Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him.
He's dead, isn't he? Is that the Nazi chick from earlier?
Finished.
I don't know.
Guess not.
Nah. Just hanging in there though.
He that covereth his sins shall not prosper.
Seen it all, and I've done it all.
Again, we hear that monologue.
Mhm.
Good man. If there's one thing I've learned, it's you get over here and you get down there like that.
So that is Fritz the Cat. Oh my god.
Alright. So
what the fuck did we just watch?
I've seen some other movies like this before.
I just want to say, I think this song right now is just amazing.
Yeah, it's good in credits music.
And, just the kind of, the credits photos here are actually fantastic as well. They, again, I may have said this earlier, but it just kind of builds, if I haven't, but it really builds onto the world that Ralph Bakshi was, trying to portray here.
Yeah. Do you think Fritz represents him, or was he just trying to follow the environment he was in enough to mimic it properly for the character?
So I think Fritz represents sort of a cynical character.
Yeah.
He's bored with his life, as we all tend to get to, at a certain age. I think, he's a college age student, so he's, late teens, 20s. So, I remember at least when I was that time, I was very restless. His driving ambition to, just kind of explore the world, I think, really ambitious and stuff like that.
Yeah. He kept on trying to kick the trans, and it kept on kicking him in the face.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, it's like when you try to, fight the world, but, you fight the system, but, the system fights back. Do you think he's a hero?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree completely.
No, he's, what I saw in some other movies like this is that, they try and portray the protagonist as... they try and portray this protagonist as something sympathetic, but it's only sympathetic to the in-crowd for the people they were kind of aiming for.
I think he's sympathetic because he's a representation of, just being human in general.
Cat.
Is he, yeah, cat.
Just kidding, man.
Is he a hero? Absolutely fucking not. No, I mean, he's immoral, he is degenerate, he has killed numerous people within this film.
No sense of responsibility.
No sense of responsibility whatsoever. However, I am drawn to his story. And I'm going to go back to what I was going to say again. I think, Ralph Bakshi was trying to, create this world, and, I did do some research on this, going in there and, recording real conversations with people. We heard that at the beginning with, the girl living with somebody after coming home from her first year in college, and we heard it from the rabbis, we heard it from, the bar scene, we even heard it during the riot scene, with, different people, actual recordings of people, and, it really... I'm going back to that again and again and again and again because I've seen so many films recently where it's you have a backdrop, you have a background and an environment and a world, and they don't really they don't do the simple little things like that, where they can just invest in that and just make it just so much more better.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so much more sterile now. It just blew me away, and I'm gonna have to say one more thing about this film. It's there is a lot of fucking audiovisual kind of just things happening. I'm still processing all sorts of crazy shit that's happened in this movie.
Yeah, you see something in here that you don't see, post 90s, mid 90s, where the idea of showing rather than telling just dies. Seems to it doesn't. It always have to self narrate or from some form of narration where someone tells you what's going on. Here,
that's interesting. That's actually an interesting point, and we may have to get into that in a future podcast.
Yeah.
But Akira Kurosawa, you know him?
No.
So Akira Kurosawa is a Japanese filmmaker who kind of did the same thing, just exactly what you were talking about. He represented storyline through movement in, the environment. And a lot of the stuff he did was also environmental, where he did fire. There was always some sort of environmental thing with it. It was fire, water, smoke, water, I may have said that, or win, whatever. He was able, and like he also had like different, camera shots and stuff like that, and characters within the shot, like doing something where like, it could be in complete Japanese and you can not know a goddamn word of Japanese, like I do. Except Yuki. You don't have to understand what they're saying to get the film, and then you can superimpose it on something like maybe another film that's more current, like for instance, the scene, a particular scene within like Marvel's Avengers, where they're within like they're in like the flying airship. I don't even remember the name of it, but you had the Samuel L. Jackson's character, debriefing, the Avengers, and, every time, they did something, it kind of, you got the, illusion of movement, but the camera would always pan to the same direction, and, like, there was no actual storytelling. It was all just, like, it was all just narration and just like storytelling based upon like the dialogue of the characters. There was nothing in there. It was very sterilized. And like they had a bay window within this particular scene in this room that they were in that you could see clouds, but even then the clouds in that window didn't move. So it was very sterilized. It was very sterilized and serene and just still life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think one of the best examples I've ever seen of showing versus telling a person's character was in like the first third, maybe half of Alien with Ridley Scott, where they're on there, they had this communication banter between them. You can instantly tell what type of personality, what type of relationship they have, and how the two mechanics, the two engineers, keeping things all going. You find out just by their actions of them making things look way, way worse than they actually were with all those steam or whatever gas spewing out of the pipes and all that, and all it was just a simple pull a lever to stop. And
no, that's actually another good point. Like just like the mechanical aspects of films. I mean, we didn't see it here because it was a animation. We can definitely see some of these other things, like maybe the end with the explosion where he actually imposed like actual footage of it, or he's went in there again and used voice acting and stuff like that. It's like these little simple things, like you can see in like Fritz Lang's M, him using like different camera angles, and like if you watch Citizen Kane, I watched this one particular thing where they did a scene where they exited out of Kane's family cabin and stuff like that, and they did like this long shot where they went through the living room, the dining room with the dining table, and then out of wall, and then you're going like, well, how the hell did they do that? But it's really just simple pulleys and mechanics and simple mechanic stuff, and just like stuff that's kind of like lost now because we have so much digital stuff now. Which again
But back to what you were saying earlier, you were talking about how they were making the characters so much more expressive in the throughout this thing. We had, especially with those voiceover, those open mic scenes that we were pouring out and all that. And it's like, you made a very good point, is they made the characters just that much more animate because you didn't.
Yeah, and relatable.
Well, also to try and overcome.
Well, maybe not relatable, but
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
But you don't have live footage. So video footage, so they had to actually, exaggerate, as you point out, to get idea of the tone they were trying to go for with their body language.
I think it was that too, but I also think it was the exaggeration side. Yeah, it was really wanted to just hit home the story point that they wanted to get across, and like you had cops being pigs. You had, different races being represented by different animal characters. Sometimes. It really depended on exactly the character that they wanted to portray. They're really, 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 I think, relying on like preconceived stereotypes in an Animal Kingdom kind of thing. To like get across, a particular character. You can kind of see, the two cops, or even at the end, the cops within the hospital. It's like you knew they were cops because they were pigs.
No, you have to. have to really realize the fact that he probably did a pretty good job of mirroring that the idea of exaggerated animation to take place of the actual physical communication of the actual people, but also he took advantage of that drastically to cause a kind of a shock value, I think, to a lot of it.
Again, I think that's the point. It really it drives home the point that he was trying to make with these characters. And again, and I think that, like, overall, I think that's a good thing. I think, like, and let's get into, like, some of the freaking, like, subject matter on this stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Like, we're talking about race riots. We're talking about, like, race relations. We had that scene where you were painting through the, junkyard in Harlem. You were seeing all, the history of African American and, America. And then the race riot, and then you had, like, you had the neo-Nazi bullcrap. You had all sorts of these really, really, really just things that are just, drug use, police violence. You had these things that we're still talking about, we're still dealing with, and we're still seeing within the media right now, being portrayed there. And, to be honest with you, I think that's timeless. And also, I think that's really good because I think that, like, good art, Good art is something that you can look at and you can go, okay, that's good. Great art, I think, is something that you can look at and it shows you an uncomfortable truth and it, like, kind of makes you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess it would be the point of just self-reflection or contrast that really gets into the emotions of things. What would you label Fritz as? Me, I think if I had to guess, I don't know enough at it. But I would say, me first, I'll go real quick, is that from what I've heard and read, he sounds like a stereotypical college champagne socialist.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, he was spewing a lot of proletariat and bourgeoisie rhetoric and...
Oh, you're talking about Fritz. I thought you were talking about Bakshi.
No, Fritz the Cat.
Fritz the Cat.
Yeah.
No. No, I wouldn't go that far. I think he would just be. He's pretty bougie. He's just kind of a reflection of the time. I think on a lot of things. He's a hippie. This like total, this like bougie woman chaser kind of. He's just a college student. Like, I think he would be, a different characterization, but pretty much the same as like the character from what was it, the Beatitudes of Balthazar or something.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's a book. It's an Irish book, but it's the same concept where it's like, a college student just goes nuts out of just the sheer pressure of it, or just the sheer boredom and mundaneness, or even just somebody in general who just goes fucking nuts and then decides, you know what, I'm just gonna experience the world and stuff like that. But again, like, I don't really think he's like socialist. I think really that whole thing he was doing was just because he was bullshitting the entire movie through.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I can't even really like pin him down to one thing other than he's just a poser.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally a poser.
He's just a poser. Like, I don't think he even has like a political party. Even if it was, even if he was a political party, he would be switching votes, whatever. Because like really,
I don't know about that.
I kind of do, because I think it really everything he was, it was based upon the group of people that he was around. Like, he was a hippie around the hippies. He was a socialist, Marxist, black revolutionary around the Crows. Oh, yeah. And then he was a neo-Nazi around the neo-Nazis.
I think he's kind of maybe...
He had one redeeming value right as it was about to explode at the gas plant. But other than that, like... I think maybe that's the point of it. Like, he finally learned the lesson at the end of the movie, but he still was able to be him.
Yeah,
but at the point, at all these specific points, like, he was just trying to find himself. And if you were gonna, like, judge him based upon that, I wouldn't say he would be anything, because he was nothing. He tried to fill the void specifically and be liked in every group he was with.
That is a very good point. Very good point. Yeah, he was like clay. You put him in a mold and he fell into it.
Or even water. He just was there. And then he just kind of trickled out. And again, and my point I'm going to be with that was with the riot.
Yep.
He started this riot, and then all of a sudden he left, and then, next thing you know, no consequences. And he was part of that orgy and stole the cop's gun, and he shot the cop's gun, and then he left.
He slipped out of there.
It's just, he was nothing. He was just this amoeba.
Do you think that's kind of what the that water symbology through it all was about?
It's just kind of this water is formless. It just kind of just runs through if there's a crack.
Yeah, it seems like every time there was like a major scene transition, water
pretty
water
much.
Showed up.
Yeah, and it changed form. This kind of just came out of my mind, but no, like just Fritz the Cat, he was just. I guess it was really a story of like him trying to find himself throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But like in all the wrong ways that we would say wrong today.
Yeah. But the thing is,
but it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like amazed, and actually I like this movie.
But yeah, just like with some of the other films I've seen like this that were like live action. I can't remember the names to save my life. It was so boring. But I mean.
Well, then they're not very good, right?
Yeah. There was no real serious conclusion to this. He didn't find himself. He just went back into his old rut.
Would have to agree with you on that a little bit. But I did think he did kind of find himself because he did kind of realize, like,
Oh, he was going to... He learned how to say no.
He learned how to say no at the end. And then, you did learn, like, it's like the love you give is the love you receive and stuff like that. I will say that's the one redeeming value of Fritz the Cat. But, like, I would totally agree with you. He didn't really change, but then again, I would argue that's what his character is.
Yeah.
He's still in his 20s. He's still going to just chase women because that's what you apparently do.
Yeah.
But, like... Other than that, as like, a complex character, yes, I would have to agree with you. He hasn't really changed. Like, maybe we're expected to assume that he's going to change in the future and anything further. But, seeing this kind of stuff, I would agree. If there was ever a sequel to this, I think it would probably just be the same nonsense, but just
So he's. I guess he found his environment, which is with women.
I guess. Speaking of which, that what the heck was it? Winthrop or whatever her name was.
Winston.
I
guess that was her last name.
I don't know. Like, was that two characters?
No, there was one.
No. It was the same redheaded.
Yeah.
Thing, but you had these two different characters. Like, at the beginning of it, she was like this, like,
Another floozy.
I mean, she was kind of like, not a floozy. I wouldn't say that. It's kind of... But no. Yeah. She was like, she was just... She was kind of more free and, like, open and stuff like that. But then you had... Then you had the Winston who was in the trench coat and the glasses who went to,
She developed as a character.
But she went back to the same one at the end.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Are they two characters?
It seems like they were the same character, but I think at the end they just needed something to wrap it up on.
I don't know, and I don't know the direction on that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna also have to again disagree with But I just Fritz the Cat. Yeah. Madness in a can.
Yeah.
Fun
wow.
though. Fun though. We're gonna have to do another Backstreet movie, I guess, because this is a crazy animator.
Yeah,
director.
It is. I've seen Wizard. Have you?
Yes, I have.
All right. Well, we'll get back to maybe some of his other stuff in a future video.
All right. Well, hey, just want to thank everybody for watching, and
thank you.
We hope to make more of these, and please subscribe.